Happy New Year, everyone! Hope you had a great start to 2023. Let's hope this one's better than 22, both for Formula 1 but the world in general. Before the season starts in March with the Bahrain Grand Prix, let's talk about another venue that was and or is set to return to the F1 calendar to truly make it a world championship. The Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit in South Africa. Not many fans will remember it, but the South African Grand Prix once was a fixed part of the F1 calendar for a lot of years, comparable to events like the Australian Grand Prix. And you see, it fits. A World Championship has to take place on every continent, apart from Antarctica maybe for obvious reasons, but right now we're leaving out Africa. But that is about to change from next year on probably. There were pretty loud rumors and statements that F1 will return there. Most of them were saying it'll even come in 2023, and well, that obviously didn't happen, but it will likely return in the next couple of years, as there is a huge interest from F1's side to return to Africa. And if it does, it will be on this circuit. F1 held its first World Championship event here in 1967 on a very different layout compared to today. After 1985, it disappeared from the calendar because of South Africa's apartheid policy. Would love to see the same initiative nowadays for certain countries known for mass executions and slavery, but that's a different topic. F1 briefly returned to post-apartheid South Africa in 1992 and 1993 on a new and different layout that is a lot closer to the one that exists today, but it wasn't really a huge success back then. That would probably be different nowadays, as the circuit has been tweaked to make it more entertaining, and it made it back to the big international stage, with the Kyalami 9 Hours being part of the Intercontinental GT Challenge. F1 could really put that great traditional venue back on the map for good. And before we get ahead of ourselves, let's look at the quick hot lap with a modern F1 car around this circuit. First impressions? Great, as expected. It is a proper traditional racetrack that runs through the landscape with great elevation changes, flowing, fast and challenging corners that would really suit these modern F1 cars. Blind entries and apexes that really require precision and track knowledge, combined with fast sweepers that dare you to go faster, namely Sunset Corner and the S's, one of the very few remaining bits of the very old track, make for great driving pleasure. The pit straight and turn 1, which is actually turn 2, may do for good racing as well, but more on that later. So it's great fun driving it on your own, but how is it with other cars on the track? Let's have a short 5-lap race as usual to find that out. And here we are on the grid at Kyalami in a Red Bull, starting the race right now. And we get quite a good start. The starting grid, as you've seen, is a little close, so that needs to be changed, definitely. But that shouldn't be a problem, as we are now going into turn 1, which is actually turn 2, Crowthorne, because the little kink on the main straight is counted as a corner as well. Now we have a Mercedes down our inside. Almost didn't see that one, but fortunately he backed out of it. I think this was George Russell. as we are now hunting down the two McLarens ahead of us. This was Sunset Corner where we were just going through. One of the greatest corners of the track, but my favorite one is coming up here. The S's, they dip down into the valley very, very fast. And now a blind corner. This one is really, really tricky. It took me ages to get it somewhat right, and I still can't do it, as you might have seen on the Hotlap. I always miss the apexes. And now down towards the crocodiles. This is a heavier braking zone where you can try a surprise overtake, which you do right now on Lando Norris, and that actually worked. And now the final part of this track. Here you need to stay behind, but this is a crucial corner, the final one. Get a good exit, and you may be able to make a move into the first heavy braking zone. Here, this little kink, which is called the kink, is turn 1, and this one, the actual first proper corner, is a turn 2 then, where we make it around the outside of Lando Norris in his McLaren, and now have a little bit of clean air. We're running in P3 right now. Oh, but Ricciardo is trying to get back at us through Sunset, but he backs out of it. Better to do so. Now around the outside into the next corner here. Oh, and we get surprised by our teammate, but through the S's he manages to get past us, as he was just surprising us into Clubhouse Corner earlier. And now, well, that's a little bit unfortunate for us, as we are now going through crocodiles once more, where we have taken Daniel Ricciardo a lap earlier. Lando Norris a lap earlier. This doesn't work on our teammate though, so we need to stay behind. Turn down the ERS because, well, we don't want the battery to be empty. But now we see that we might actually have a chance on the pit straight, so we turn it up again for just a couple of seconds to make it past. And back into P3 we go. He is trying down our inside into the into Crowthorne, which didn't work. So well, now let's focus on hunting down Hamilton, who is running in P3 ahead of P2 ahead of us. Leclerc pretty much running away with it here. I must say that this track is really, it is such a pleasure to drive with these cars. It is so flowing, and it really makes sense. Every corner, pretty much every corner makes sense. You don't have that at many of these newer venues that are, well, most of them are fake street circuits, and everything here is so flowing and so great, and it really works with the landscape that exists here. So it is just brilliant. One of the natural classic racetracks, as we are now very close to Hamilton in the meantime. And on the pit straight we are trying to take an alternate line through the final corner to maybe get a chance to make a move at him. This didn't work at first, but with the slipstream we almost made it. The pit straight obviously would be the DRS zone if F1 decided to come here. Probably it will be the only DRS zone, I'm afraid. Maybe this straight here towards Sunset. This could be a DRS zone. Don't know. Sunset, could it be flat out? If it could be flat out, they definitely wouldn't have DRS here. And, well, so I'm afraid it will only be the pit straight that will have DRS. As now we almost miss our teammate on the inside once more, so we turn a little bit into him and make contact, but not really heavy, so we didn't take any damage, and neither did he. So we're down in P4 as we are about to start the final lap, I believe. Through the final corner we go, and trying to get a good exit. Hamilton running a little wide there, so our teammate is trying to make a move on him. Or is he? Now we choose the outside line through Crowthorne. Maybe that does work, but, well, in our case it doesn't, so we have to wait and see if we can take advantage of the battle of those two. And if you see, the AI is battling here in Automobilista. It probably is a good track for racing as well, and I was a bit skeptical at first, well, as we run right after sunset here. But I really do think it is a good track for Formula 1 and for Formula 1 racing as well, not just throwing the car around the track, which is obviously a fantastic experience, but the racing here, I think it will work quite well as well, especially with those new regulation ground effect cars. This one here might be a surprise overtake into the couple of final corners. Crocodile here, late on the brakes, but we make the corner and we are ahead of Hamilton, and I think this will be it. We will finish this race in P3, as we're still trying. Oh wow, maybe we are not finishing P3. Well, yes we do, because Hamilton is too far away to take profit out of us running wide into the final corner, and that is it with our 5-lap race at Kyalami. Well, and what do we take from that? It works well. The pit straight, which would have DRS in real life, and the first proper braking zone into Crowthorne make for good racing. Maybe you could surprise your opponents through sunset into Clubhouse and into the Crocodiles as well, but I feel that will happen rather rarely. In terms of safety, I think it's fine. It currently doesn't hold a FIA Grade 1 rating, but just like with Thomas the Rio Hondo, I think this could be achieved quite easily by very little tweaks here and there, and boom, there is your great new or returning F1 venue. I'm really looking forward to this one if or when it finally will be happening. And that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did and subscribe to not miss any videos from this channel. Also check out the other videos from this series that you can see on your screen right now. I hope to see you all the next time. Goodbye.